Chair of the session, Honorable Minister for Forest and Environment, respected international parliamentarians and distinguished guests, Honorable Member of the House of Representatives and National Assembly of Nepal, distinguished guest, media person. I thank international parliamentarians for Fossil Fuel Phase Out and National Assembly's Sustainable Development and Good Governance Committee of Nepal for jointly organizing this important conference on the role of parliamentarians in addressing climate change and sustainable development. I feel privileged to welcome honorable parliamentarians from the globe and Nepal and other distinguished guests in this conference. I am confident that this conference will reflect on our action against the global environmental crisis and forge common understanding and strategies on climate justice and sustainable development. Climate change is evolving as a major global threat that posing enormous challenges to socio-economic and environmental well-being. Climate science underlines that if current greenhouse gas emissions do not rapidly decline in line with 1.5 degrees Celsius limit, the prospect for climate resilient development will be severely limited. LDCs are more vulnerable to the impact of the climate change and are in desperate need of financial and technological support. As you may have well aware that during UNGA, I tried to raise the issue of the climate change, particularly on behalf of the LDCs country, especially because currently Nepal is the chair of the LDCs. As a chair of the LDCs, I tried to strongly appeal the international community about the terrible impact of the climate change in the LDCs. Nepal is bearing a direct, disproportionate and damaging effect of climate change despite near zero contribution to global emission. Due to an appalling injustice inflicted on us, our people are severely affected by climate-induced disasters such as landslide, floods, wildfires, glacier lake outbursts, drought, etc. Because terrible impact is there in Nepal, therefore, during UNGA, I requested Secretary General of the UN to visit Nepal and directly have an interaction with the local peoples who are directly affected by the climate change. He agreed to visit Nepal and it has a very huge impact all over the world. Secretary General, during COP28, I chaired a roundtable conference of the mountainous country and he made a very strong speech in favor of the LDCs and the effect of the climate change. I am deeply concerned about the finding of the recent IPCC report that states climate-induced disaster breaking records in the Himalayas. We have already lost 1/3 of our glaciers, and scientists have warned that we are going to lose another 1/3 by the end of this century. The Himalayas are the foundation of human civilization, ecosystem, and biodiversity. They are providing global service to the people and the planet and are the source of livelihoods for billions of people downstream. Distinguished participants, I have strongly highlighted the repercussion of climate change in mountainous region and least developed country in all forums, including the 78th UNGA Climate Ambition Summit and COP28 in Dubai. As the chair of the LDCs, I urge the developed economy and the international community for more predictable and adequate and equitable resources and technology for LDCs. I emphasize the criticality of meeting the $100 billion climate finance obligation, accelerating climate action through Green Climate Fund, and implementing the loss and damage fund in a manner that is easy to access and implement for the LDCs. I appreciate and thanks to the United Nations Secretary General Mr. Antonio Guterres for his recent visit to Nepal, collecting first-hand information of the climate change impact from the local communities who are facing the climate crisis. Dear friends, Nepal is fully committed to the Paris Agreement. We are committed to achieving net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2045, 5 years earlier than the global target. We are fully committed to utilize our hydropower potential to secure clean energy and maintain 45% forest covered land. Recently, I unveiled the National Adaptation Plan and NDC Implementation Plan with a clear roadmap and strategy to promote climate resilient and sustainable development in Nepal. However, our attempts to implement climate change adaptation and mitigation plans are facing serious financial and technological gaps. Nepal needs additional resources to make our ecosystem and people resilient to climate change and ensure the implementation of local-led adaptation, climate roadmap and programs. I strongly believe in the necessity of initiating dialogue among the parliamentarians and policymakers globally to advocate together for climate justice and to safeguard a sustainable future for ecosystem, people, and our planet. Dear friends, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude for your valuable presence and extend our sincere thanks to all those in attendance, including the honorable parliamentarians from different countries. As you know that tremendous political changes were there in the last decade in this country. Now, we are trying our best to create a political stability and create the atmosphere for economic construction. But this climate change issue is much sensitive and much terrible issue for our country. And I think that this initiative and this forum of the parliamentarians all over the world will create a more positive atmosphere, more effective interference on this issue. Finally, I stand in solidarity with you all as strong advocates for a sustainable planet. Let us work together and work together toward an emission-free world. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.